Elon Musk is concerned that Russia and China will join forces against the West, and this could be the next chapter of the fight for world domination between the US and Russia. Tweet from the businessman David Sachs condemning President Joe Biden's dangerous and misguided fight against autocracy recently provoked a response from the man himself, Elon Musk. Sachs, citing a tweet that claimed China was negotiating to provide Russia with drones for use in a war, stated, "During the Cold War, the United States made an effort to keep Russia and China separated, despite both being homicidal communist governments. As a consequence of Biden's campaign against authoritarianism, we are now bringing them closer together. Doing so is both silly and perhaps harmful." In response to Sachs, Musk claimed that an alliance between Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping is inevitable. A Russia-China alliance is inevitable. It will grow much stronger over time. If Russia and China were to form an alliance and join forces, it would have significant implications for the United States and the rest of the world. Firstly, it would present a major geopolitical challenge to the United States' global influence and power. Russia and China are both major military powers, with significant economic and technological capabilities, and their combined strength could potentially rival or even surpass that of the United States. Secondly, such an alliance would likely result in increased cooperation between the two countries in areas such as defense, energy, and trade. This could potentially lead to the creation of a new global economic and political bloc that could challenge the existing world order dominated by the United States and its allies. Thirdly, it could also lead to increased tensions and instability in the regions of the world where Russia and China have conflicting interests, such as in the South China Sea or in Eastern Europe. Overall, the formation of an alliance between Russia and China would be a significant development with far-reaching consequences for the international community, and it would require careful consideration and response from the United States and its allies. In addition to the implications I mentioned earlier, the formation of an alliance between Russia and China could have several other consequences. It could potentially lead to a shift in the balance of power in Asia. With Russia's military might and China's economic power, the two countries could become a dominant force in the region, challenging the United States' long-standing role as a security guarantor. The formation of such an alliance could lead to increased authoritarianism in both countries. Russia and China have both been criticized for their human rights records and their suppression of dissent, and an alliance between the two countries could potentially make it harder for liberal democratic values to take root. The alliance could also lead to increased cooperation in the areas of technology and innovation. Both Russia and China are investing heavily in areas such as artificial intelligence, quantum computing, and 5G networks, and a partnership between the two countries could potentially accelerate their progress in these fields. Although Beijing has touted its relations with Moscow and abstained from condemning the invasion of Ukraine, China has suggested its strategy to pave the path for peace negotiations. Putin also praised Russia's growing relations with China during meetings with a senior Chinese ambassador earlier this week, calling cooperation between Moscow and Beijing very important for stabilizing the international situation. The current international situation is indeed critical and complex, but the relationship between China and Russia is solid as a mountain and can stand the test of international risks, Chinese State Councilor Wang Yi told Russian President Vladimir Putin. According to Musk, relations between the Soviet Union and the People's Republic of China were not always cordial, but they can improve drastically due to the current situation between the US, Russia, Ukraine, China, and Taiwan. From history, after Nikita Khrushchev's iconic condemnation of Joseph Stalin in 1956, ideological divisions joined nationalistic sentiments. Bilateral ties swiftly deteriorated. For several months in 1969, the two governments engaged in an undeclared border war. The situation prompted Richard Nixon to change US-China relations 3 years later. Following Mao's death in 1976, bilateral connections significantly expanded as the new Chinese leader, Deng Xiaoping, launched economic reforms that transformed the PRC into a vital commercial partner. Relations gradually normalized when Russia moved to close the gap exploited by the US. There was no reason to expect Washington to end up in conflict with both countries once the Cold War ended. Yet, since the West launched its economic assault on Russia a few years ago, Beijing and Moscow elevated their connection, though not to the level of a formal alliance, which remains doubtful. China and Russia's growing relationship is still essentially transactional. Yet the two governments are becoming closer. Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin have met over 30 times. Recently, Xi urged the two countries to oppose hegemony and unilateralism, clearly aimed at you-know-who. Russia and China are closer today than ever, since the Sino-Soviet rift that Nixon's China strategy exploited. China and Moscow are both terrible regimes for outsiders, but the US's arrogance encouraged them to become confidants. Even supporters of unrestricted American hegemony are concerned about the world's second most robust economy and its second most formidable military cooperating. China, on the other hand, provides a more challenging difficulty. The economic and other ties between America and the PRC are strong. Yet, the tensions between a growing and established power parallels the so-called Thucydides trap, as described in Thucydides' classic account of the Peloponnesian War. Even if the US and China escape any kind of war, their goals will continue to collide. Washington should make acceptable concessions rather than automatically oppose Chinese aims, while increasing world support for America's position and decreasing support for the PRC. Washington begin its pursuit of the latter with Russia. Because of Moscow's significant limitations, the condominium with China is critical and uncomfortable. Furthermore, America and Europe's isolation from the Russian Federation makes no sense. Despite the extreme fear-mongering of those who perceive Moscow as an adversary, Russia offers little harm to America and almost no threat to Europe. This is why the cooperation between the People's Republic of China and the Russian Federation was not unavoidable. So far, Russia and China have conducted a series of military drills, indicating Moscow's growing connections with Beijing and the Kremlin's aim to create a business-as-usual picture despite the escalating costs of its conflict in Ukraine. The Vostok war exercises are staged in Russia's Far East every 4 years. During the 2018 drills, a reported 300,000 of its forces practiced with those from China and Mongolia. Western diplomats and defense experts believe they demonstrated the friendship without limitations offered by Presidents Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping shortly before the conflict began. The war games also show the Kremlin's capacity to retain connections with non-Western allies like Belarus and India, who will participate in the drills. China has said that participating in the Vostok drills has nothing to do with the present world and regional circumstances. Russia and China recently staged joint military exercises in China. America has said that the newest operations have no additional importance. Yet, the fact that Vostok means east tells you all you need to know. According to a Western defense consultant, citing Moscow's backing for Beijing when U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi visited Taiwan, which China regards as a renegade territory. Putin denounced Pelosi's travel as a well-planned provocation. Moscow has lost the information battle in the West, and Putin is now demonstrating to the East that Russian life continues as usual. According to the Japanese Defense Ministry, 2 Russian naval convoys went through the Soya Strait, which divides Russia and Japan, implying they were on their way to the maneuvers. Yet with up to 3/4 of the Russian army reportedly fighting in Ukraine, commentators predicted that the drills would be essentially military. Although canceling them would have conveyed the incorrect signal, they noted that keeping them may also be of little strategic use. The Vostok military drills are a regular occurrence, say most independent Russian military researchers. Nearly all Russian combat-competent forces are involved in the battle in Ukraine. It's simply pretending that everything is okay. Moscow is keeping its shop displays running, even while the top stories of its building are on fire. According to Ben Barry, a senior scholar at the International Institute for Strategic Studies think tank. Some Russian experts have criticized the country's recent military performance and equipment. which is on show at an international weapons exhibition in Moscow. At the expo, Putin claimed that Russia's military was decades ahead of its opponents and was eager to share technology with friends. It's not unheard of for government leaders or private citizens to voice alarm about prospective foreign dangers. Musk may see a hypothetical alliance between Russia and China as a geopolitical menace to the West. Yet, it is essential to consider the larger context and history of international relations before making assumptions or drawing conclusions, since political connections and alliances may be complicated and vary over time.